I've been talking a lot about fall fashion trends and you seem to have really enjoyed my recent videos, but in today's video I'm doing something a little bit different and sharing some fall fashion trends that I think that we all need to avoid. Hi, I'm Leonie and welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, hello, I'm so pleased you found me. I post regular fashion videos and I would love you to come along for the ride. So if you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. Now, as I mentioned, I'm talking fall fashion trends that I think we should avoid. And I know that these videos are often a little bit contentious because sometimes you'll agree with these things, sometimes you won't. So please let me know in the comments below what you think. I won't take offense, tell it to me straight, but there are some fall fashion trends that I really believe are a waste of our hard-earned money. So if you would like to find out what they are, then just keep watching. And at this point, I'd just like to say a very big thank you to the team at Skillshare. If you've been watching me here for a while, you'll know that I am regularly partnering with Skillshare because it's a company that I believe in. I love their online courses. And if you haven't heard of Skillshare before, they're basically an online learning community where you sign up and you can take courses in absolutely everything imaginable. I've taken numerous courses over the years, from learning how to play the guitar, well, relearning how to play the guitar. I've also taken courses on YouTubing, but pretty much everything is there. If it's art, craft, drawing, public speaking, you name it, whatever you want to learn or whatever you need to upskill in, there will be a course for you on Skillshare. I've recently finished this amazing course by a guy called Jevon Dove, and he ran a very cool and simple course on how to vlog. It's called How to Vlog Complete Beginner's Guide. I've been toying with the idea of vlogging for a while, so this course has actually really inspired me to get amongst it. So let me know in the comments below if you would like to see me do a little bit of vlogging. We are in lockdown here in New Zealand at the moment. We've just gone into spring, the weather is beautiful, and I kind of thought that it might be fun to vlog my spring lockdown experience. But let me know in the comments below if that's something that you would be interested in seeing. But as I said, there are loads of amazing courses available on Skillshare. There are no ads, so it just makes learning really easy. It's also only $10 a month to subscribe to Skillshare, which I think is really good value. And for the first 1,000 people to use the link that I will leave in my description box, you'll get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So if you're interested in learning something new, taking up a new hobby, then I really urge you to go and check out Skillshare. Not just because they're sponsoring this video, but because I really believe in what they do. And I know that there are great courses on offer for you, and I'm sure you'll enjoy them. So once again, I will leave a link to Skillshare in the description box below. So let's get on with these trends. Now, this first trend is actually a difficult one for me to include on the list, and it's a trend that you will be seeing more of for really supersized sequins. So there are quite a few sequined pieces out there this season, and being someone that actually really loves anything shiny and sparkly, and I do love sequins, and I'm just naturally drawn to them. But the reason that these pieces are on my what not to wear list this season is because you just don't tend to get the cost per wear out of these pieces. They look amazing, but because they create such a statement, you don't tend to reach for them regularly. And so for that reason, and if you do follow me here regularly, you'll know that I love fashion, but it needs to work and be practical and a tad sensible too. So also, these sequin pieces the sequins are supersized as well. And what I'm seeing is not just sequin detailing, but entire sequined coats, sequin pants, sequin dresses. In my opinion, they are amazing statement pieces, but if you want to get that good old cost per wear, you're not going to get them from these pieces. So for that reason, they are at the top of my list. Next up on the list is crop tops. Now, crop tops have been here for spring, summer. They make perfect sense in spring, summer. But in fall, winter, they just don't make a whole lot of sense to me. There are crop tops and crop jackets that are really big for fall. What I would say, if you like this cropped look or cropped style, maybe opt for a jacket instead of a top. A jacket is a great way to dip your toe in the trend, but you don't have that drama of trying to work out whether you're showing skin, whether you're going to be warm enough. The whole idea of wearing a crop top under, say, an oversized blazer, it looks good in practice, it looks good on the runway. On an it girl, it looks amazing, but it's just not practical. But a crop jacket is a different story because obviously you'd wear a longer piece underneath to layer with. So in my opinion, I would just be very cautious about crop tops. Crop jackets, go for it. Now this next trend I'm convinced is going to divide you. Now the skirt for the season is the classic midi skirt, and you'll expect to see midi skirts or that length everywhere. So there's different shapes and styles, but the length that you'll see the most of is a midi length. Now the problem that I have with midi skirts is they tend to always fall on the widest part of our lower legs, which is mid-calf. So for most of us, that is the least flattering part of our leg. Now remember, where something falls is where the eye is drawn. So me personally, I don't ever like to highlight the widest part of my lower leg, which is the middle of my calf. And while midi skirts often look great from the front, they can look a little less great from the back if you don't have amazing legs. Now, with all of these trends, if you like them and they make you feel great, go ahead and wear them. These are my opinions, and this is what I've seen and what I feel and what I have noticed when I've styled real women over the years. So midi skirts, my advice would be to wear them if you're wearing tights underneath them in fall, winter. But just be careful wearing them if they do actually hit at your mid-calf. If they hit a little bit longer than that, then that's great. They tend to fall into more of a maxi length, so just be a little bit careful with that midi length because it can be an unflattering length if worn not well. So just keep that in mind and don't completely write it off, but just be aware of where those skirts and dresses fall on you. Now this next one is also a little bit of a funny one for me to be including here because I love puffer jackets, but this season puffer jackets have gone to an extreme, and they sort of tend to be a lot of really bold colored and bold patterned puffer coats, and not just your regular puffer. It's like they've been blown up and are just supersized. And I think again, this is a look that looks amazing in magazines or on the runway. Translating that to everyday life is just not going to be that easy. So I think that you really need to look at some of these pieces and proceed with caution, and maybe opt for a puffer. If you like puffers like I do, maybe opt for one that is just a little bit more pared back and not so extreme. Now, still on the extreme theme, I've also seen a real return of supersized statement earrings. And again, this is just, it's a little bit too much. I just think it's really reminiscent of the 80s where that sort of power dressing, power suits were the look. And it's almost like designers have seen that we were in lockdown for so long and we need to kind of make a statement, and a lot of the fashion pieces for fall winter are almost supersized and making a really loud statement. I tend to think that you can pare things back a little bit, which still gives a nod to the trend, but without just taking things too literally. So I suppose what I'm saying here is just avoid these supersized trends, and the supersized statement earrings, I suppose the number one reason why they are on my what not to wear list is that I've got friends that their earlobes have been destroyed by wearing these really heavy dangly earrings that may have looked great and been on trend and fashionable at the time, but they are paying the price for them now. So, sounding like a nana here, I know that, but I just think that there's a pared back version that will look really cool, but it's just not going to arrive in a room before you. Now this next trend I'm a little bit torn about, and it's for fluffy shoes or fluffy footwear. Now I do love anything fluffy because I love being comfortable. I especially love my feet being comfortable. I don't ever cram my feet into ill-fitting shoes anymore. But what we are seeing this fall is fluffy footwear, which looks like slippers, but it's designed to be worn outside. So think Ugg sandals, really fluffy ballet flats. Yes, I'm not feeling it. I do think that they will be a one-hit wonder. I love the comfort aspect of them, but in terms of the styling and the longevity of this trend, I don't think it's gonna last. So fluffy footwear that's worn outside the home is getting a big no or big thumbs down from me. But let me know what you think. Is this a trend that you would happily wear or no? Spring summer saw some really beautiful cutout trends, and I really love them. Lots of dresses and interesting summery tops with sort of sliced sections and little almost dainty cutout areas. Now fall winter, that trend is also here, but it's almost sort of stepped it up a notch, and the cutouts in my opinion have just got crazy, which is so impractical when it comes to fall winter, to try and wear that well without actually freezing. So I do tend to think that cutouts are great, they look amazing, but they are much better suited to spring summer. And for fall, I think the crazy cutouts are a hard no for me, but there are some subtle cutouts that, oh, my dog's just come to join me to say hi. There are some subtle cutouts that were similar to what we saw in spring summer, but I think they will work for fall. But these crazy cutouts that are just ventilated fashion, which I think is super impractical, and that's why they're on this list too. Another look that seems to be creeping in, and I'm really not sure how big this trend is going to be, but it's for sort of crafty, arty style. Hello, someone wants some attention. Is crafty, really artsy styled prints in shirts and tops. They're almost kind of works of art, prints that are just really interesting and really beautiful, but I tend to think that they are just so noticeable and so recognizable that you again won't get that cost per wear. And I feel like you might be thinking that I'm being too sensible when it comes to fashion, and maybe I am. But I do think, and I suppose this has been magnified at the moment with New Zealand being in lockdown and times are tough, I do tend to think that fashion does need to be practical. Yes, it can be fun and there's some beautiful fall colours out there to wear, but I think some of these really bold prints and patterns are very much a one-season wonder. So for that reason, they're on the list. Now, as I said, everything seems to be super-sized this season, and this next trend is for super-sized knits. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love chunky knits and textured chunky knits, but a number of designers have kind of taken that to an extreme once again, and I'm sure those sorts of super-sized knits will also creep into our kind of high street general stores as well. So I think that chunky, really textured, lovely knitwear is perfect for fall, winter, but going and supersizing it and taking that to an extreme is again just too much. Also, those sorts of looks do look great if you are on a tall, statuesque figure, but remember that sort of texture and extra bulk is going to do exactly that. It will add a whole lot of extra bulk. So If you want to avoid that, but you still love soft, snuggly, chunky knits, go for chunky knits. I love knitwear, but just be careful to sort of pare it back a little bit and not supersize those knits, because most of us will feel absolutely swamped in them. Now, the final trend that I've included on this list is what I was reading about the other day, and I was reading about it on Who What Wear, which is one of my favorite websites, and they called this particular trend slope core. And basically what it is ski wear that's worn everywhere. So not just for skiing, not just for après-ski, but the kind of pieces that you would expect to see on the slopes or après-ski style is now being incorporated into day wear. Now, I'm here for an element of that, and maybe some really cool ski style pants or a really cool ski style jacket. But I'm not really feeling the whole top to toe ski look, just worn as an everyday look. It's a bit of a shame because it's obviously an incredibly practical trend, but I just think it's just a bit too much, and it's just a little bit out of place, and that's my opinion. Let me know what you think, but yeah, I'm just not vibing with this one. Anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this one, and thanks so much to the team at Skillshare for sponsoring today's episode. Also, if there are some trends that I've mentioned here that you agree or disagree with, please let me know what they are in the comments below. I will try and answer all of your comments. But once again, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, please subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.